Ladies and gentlemen, did Jay-Z just diss Drake? Spoiler alert, no, he didn't. Not at all. Not in the least. But you want to know the most hilarious thing and why Jay-Z is the GOAT without even trying? You know who really dissed Drake? The Drake stans. AKADEMIKS. They're the ones who ethered Drake, and we'll show you how. So Jay-Z just did an interview with the New York Times about his writing process, which, first of all, as a hip-hop nerd, as a Jay-Z is my favorite rapper outside of Dot, this is a beautiful thing for me to watch. The hip-hop nerd in me, I love watching Jay's process and stuff. But he says something here that got the owls spiraling, and we'll talk about it. So let's see if you can catch it.
I tell people all the time, never fight against the future. Future's coming. Artists, they were trying to recreate something that was already done, but they're not connected to it like that. They're not living it and breathing it. They were fighting against gravity as opposed to telling their story.
Hey, bruh, you ain't always got to be rapping, Sean, all right? You don't always have to be rapping, my nigga. Fighting against gravity. Come on, bro. You don't always got to be punching, bro. I know you don't write here, you write here, but you don't always got to be writing. Just because you in New York Times talk about your writing process. Woo! That boy barred up. But pay attention. Let's go.
As opposed to telling their story. We needed that other side. We needed to hear about what happens when you've had 4 successful albums. What happens? What is that feeling like? How do you make the next one? How did you get in the studio? How are your kids? How do you interact with them as this hip hop dad? But if you're trying to make young music and you're not young, it's gonna be inauthentic and people can feel that. You can smell it.
We're gonna let the clip end, but I'm gonna just give you another spoiler. That right there is what got the owls spiraling. And they don't even realize how much that they're sunning Drake by them thinking that this was a shot at Drake. Continue to listen.
So best.
And that's why I keep saying, like, most of these OVO people are not fans of hip hop. AKADEMIKS is. I got a theory because there's also a clip that came out where AKADEMIKS, like yesterday, just found out Jay-Z wrote Still Dre. And I have this theory, and I've had it for a while. I don't think AKADEMIKS has ever been a real fan of hip hop. I think he might have casually listened to hip hop his whole life. I think he got more into it during the war on Chirac, but not as a consumer, as a reporter. So he wasn't there as a hip hop fan. And ever since then, he's had a chip on. I don't think he listens to hip hop. I don't think he's a fan of hip hop. If anything, the most I would give him is casual fan. And the reason that he has to act like he's more is because he thinks he's some sort of authority because he gathered a bunch of incels together. So what AKADEMIKS is just like a voyeuristic reporter, right? It's like when them white or them white British people go out and film in Africa in the safari. That's basically what he's doing to hip hop. Like, because there are certain things that AKADEMIKS says, like, oh, it cannot be, you couldn't have been a hip hop fan your whole life and have this take or lack this knowledge. Now, you don't know everything. You're not supposed to know. You don't know everything. I don't know everything about hip hop. But there are certain things that have been said so many times in so many different ways by so many different people that if you missed it, you had to have just not been around, bro. That's period. And we're not talking about we knew this was Still Dre. This is we've been talked about this.
Thing that anyone can do, like going through music, is to tell their story, and just keep creating from that space. I love what the clips are doing right now, and how it's authentic to them, and they're telling the story about their mom and dad who just passed away, and how deep that is. With John Legend singing on the chorus, and like, everything that they've been through is an authentic display, a piece of classic material that it could have came out 96 or come out 2026. It still feels the same because it's real and it's authentic to who they are. Tell people.
So right there, y'all caught it, right? He says basically, if we could sum it up, he's speaking about himself and the clips in this, right? He's speaking about himself when he goes, what does it sound like to have 4 successful albums? He's basically telling to himself, I could no longer try to act, I had to mature because I'm a certain age. I could not act a certain age because that'd be inauthentic. It would be just as inauthentic that if I've never shot a gun in my life, I've never even held a gun or seen a gun in my real life, then I get on these records and I'm a drill rapper and I've killed everybody. You feel what I'm saying? Inauthenticity is inauthenticity. You will feel it no matter what. And if you're trying to pretend or speak from an age that you do not relate to, that is inauthentic. And he's speaking about himself, and then he uses it as a chance to big up the Clips and say, I'm glad that they're able to do what they want to do and speak from their perspective at their age is beautiful. What he's really speaking about is what we've been speaking about. The death of the ageism in hip hop. That's what he's celebrating. And that's the beautiful part. But guess what? Now, AKADEMIKS, the man who lost his stream from talking nasty to a 15-year-old boy, who lost his Twitch for talking to a 15-year-old boy. I gotta keep saying that. A 15-year-old, I don't even know why I'm emphasizing boy. 15-year-old boy. All right, so let's get his perspective about this. And you know what's the funniest thing? Look at how he's clutching his pearls already. Oh my God! Ah! Now let's see how he interprets this as a voice in hip hop, which I don't think he's a voice in hip hop. I think he reports hip hop.
Young music, and you're not young.
Look at how mad this nigga already is. Not my Drakey poo!
It's gonna be inauthentic, and people could feel that. You could smell it. So the best thing that anyone can do, like going through music, is to tell a story. And just keep creating from that space. I love what the Clips are doing right now, and how it's authentic.
This nigga want to hate so bad. Look at the hate.
And he's trying to make young music, and you're not young. It's gonna be inauthentic. And
hey yo, you see, I'm gonna say the elephant in the room, man.
You're the elephant in the room, but go ahead.
This is hating ass Jay-Z once again. He talking to Drake, man. You know Drake turning 40 this year. He trying to like, yo, he one of them type of nigga gonna give you the bad advice that hopefully you follow, and then when you get unsuccessful, he be like, well, at least you tried. You know, at least you know them people be like, well, at least you did it the right way.
And AKADEMIKS is always going to protect acting younger than you are. He's always gonna fight for your right to act like a kid. He's always going to. Just so I expected him to get offense from Jay-Z saying act your age. I expected that.
Hey, if you don't get the fuck out of here, Jay-Z. Jay-Z had a whole career. That nigga said 30's a new 20 when he became 30. The nigga said, I'm young forever. And now that he's 70, he's trying to tell other...
He said, I'm young forever. And this is what I say, is like, this lets me know AKADEMIKS has never listened to Forever Young, because he doesn't know what Forever Young is about. Forever Young is not about being young forever. I can't believe this, bro. Now, here's the funniest part. Jay-Z says this, and the first thing that... I can't listen to this, the Diddler, anymore. But that's all we needed from him. The first thing that Jay-Z says, man, act your age. You know? People can tell when you being inauthentic. And the nigga goes, why you talking about Drake like that? Why you talking about Drake like that? And that's exactly what I said. It was like, when Jay-Z says this vague ass statement, that's not a hating statement. It's not even guised in hate. It's a way to big up the Clips and a way for him to face his maybe aging and growing up, right? The fact that AKADEMIKS automatically and all the owls automatically thought he was talking to Drake, you know what that means, right? You know what that means, right? That means you think Drake is not acting his age. Ladies and gentlemen, a hit dog will always do what? Put it in the comment section. I won't even say the hit dog gonna always. All right, cool. If you in a room with three people, and you go, you in a room with three folks, and you go, man, well, I'll put it like this. If you were in a room with three people and you had to figure out who is the brokest one, right? And you made a statement, and you said, hey, bruh, broke niggas is lame. The first nigga To say something is the broke nigga. How, bruh, you owls are just, you're like, I cannot believe some of this stuff. It's like, look, here's another tweet. I have to read this tweet. This nigga said, there's only one artist who's been able to retain their position atop hip hop by their ability to stay connected to their age group and still captivate the youth. It's not in a. So if he stayed connected to his age group and still captivated the youth, that wouldn't be what Jay-Z's saying, man. Your first, I know you try to act like that first sentence was a little sentence, but if you're saying that he stayed connected to his age, that's why I'd be like, bro, this was like a fired off tweet and the nigga didn't even fully think it out, it feels like. Where it goes, if he stayed connected to his age group and is just captivating the youth by staying connected to his age, that has nothing to do with what Jay-Z's saying. Why? What? If you took away that first sentence, maybe that first part of that sentence, but you what? Anyway, I could tell that was just an emotional tweet. It's not inauthentic. It's something none of the artists before him, including Hov, were able to do as long as he's done it, and it kills them. Bro, this is psychosis, bro. This is like, bro, I understand being fans of somebody, but like this show, Jay-Z didn't even kind of shoot at Drake. In Jay-Z's last interview, he didn't even shoot at Drake. He used this moment to big up the clips and talk about how ageism in hip hop is going away and it's a beautiful thing, and y'all found that as a shot to Drake. You know why? Because y'all not fans of hip hop, you're fans of Drake. That's why a lawsuit against hip hop, that's why a lawsuit against artistic expression, that's why a lawsuit that might set a legal precedent that would change the face of hip hop forever doesn't shake y'all. Because y'all don't care. Y'all are fans of Drake, and I feel like at a certain point, that became your whole thing, because it's like, what is this nigga talking about? Like that. Anyway, so here's another funny thing that I actually saw. I didn't want this to be too long, but hold on. Let me see if I could find this thing. Yeah, they lost their mind off of that tweet. Let me see something. Let me see. Because there's actually a clip where AKADEMIKS is literally, AKADIDLER is literally. Here it is.
You say, yo, Drake is at a very.
Now, remember what the Diddler said before. Now watch this.
Drake was 34. And I remember having a conversation with Steve Stout, and he said this to me. And he said, yo, Drake is at a very important point in his career, in his life. He's going to have to figure out, will he grow with his audience, or will he keep chasing being the guy for the youth? He's like, Tootsie Slide is trying to be the guy for the youth. Growing with your audience, there's many ways to do it, but it's kind of like what J. Cole is. You see,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is quite literally the exact same thing Jay-Z is saying. I think this is the same string. That's why I said this Jay-Z one, this particular moment of like all of the moments, kind of is where the owl's mask slipped. And it's like, this is where like the psychosis is starting to show, because it's like, what? I literally, and trust me, bro, I understand how this game works and the clicking and those, but like this one is such a reach that I go like, did y'all think this through?
Cole dropped an album, Ride Around the Civic. Like, there's no kid that's like 20 or 20 that probably understands his rollout, but his rollout is for the people who his career grew with that are now in their 30s, right? Which means, like, J. Cole is the quintessential artist about growing with that one specific fan base that supported him to get there. Now, I'm ad-libbing some of the stuff here, but I'm kind of breaking down.
Are y'all serious? Y'all hearing this, right? Y'all heard the first clip. Y'all hearing this, right?
What the criticism, or not criticism, but like,
the first one was like that Pel Biv DeVoe. That was him just swallowing Drake pole. This one is him like the mask slipped a little bit, and now he's just
Like the breakdown of Drake.
y'all tell me in the comment section, is what he's saying now disagreeing with Jay-Z or agreeing with Jay-Z? Or does what he's saying now make Jay-Z's point more accurate or more false? Y'all just tell me.
Is that Drake is ubiquitous. Not only is Drake really, Drake has these fans that have been there for like 20 years. I think I'm one of them, right? We've been there for 15, 20 years. Drake still appeals to the, not all the kids, but some of the kids. Like, he's going to have some music that the kids are going to like. And his music isn't like, oh, I'm just trying to please the people who was rocking with me from Room for Improvement. And what Steve Stout said to me was like, the fork in the road with doing a song like Tootsie Slide is that was like a TikTok type of song where you're trying to, appeal to a younger audience with the dance and with that type of like, fluff. And he said this to me. He said, here's the thing. The only thing about when you're an aging artist and you choose to try to make music for the youngest of demographics is that you'll find out they'll love you or they'll like you, but they'll never love you like someone that's actually in their demographic.
What? Bro, I be feeling sometimes I'm the only one that actually be paying attention. So clearly you see Academics doesn't even agree with what he said earlier, nigga. All right, nigga. Okay. All right, guys. So basically, Drake, Academics is saying act your age, bro. Because you ain't going to get loved by... And it's funny because he said Jay-Z's giving bad advice. As he was giving bad advice he didn't even agree with. Then later on agrees with Jay-Z's advice. Man, y'all did... Like I said, these niggas are only smart if you're stupid.